difference in home form and away form? You're 4 unbeaten, obviously, at home, and you're struggling away from home. And can you put your finger out, from all these years of experience as a footballer, why there is such a differential?
Experience doesn't give me that knowledge, I'm afraid. When you go to Sunderland, and honestly, regardless of the result, I believe we played very, very well with the ball, but the goals weren't good enough. Then you go from that game to the next away game at Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough was poor. We sort of hung in there for too long, and then when they got their goal, that's when we started having a go and started to be a bit better with the ball. And then obviously we come back to our home ground, and we put on a really good performance. I know in the shape we changed the shape to a 3 at the back, but it was used in a positive manner rather than being a 5. It was an actual 3. We had Andy Robertson high up the pitch, Elmo high up the pitch, and tried to create a lot of chances, which we actually did. So that was good. But if you're telling me to analyse the difference and the mental state between home and away, it's impossible. Okay,
well, let's deal with one of the issues that you brought up there, and that was the difference in formation, which you have played in many times as a Hull City defender. Do you prefer it as a 3 or 5, call it what you will, to a 4, personally?
If I'm honest, usually I prefer a 4. I usually prefer a 4-5-1 or 4-4-2, whatever, because usually when you play a 3 as a team, like a Hull City, you're going to come up against teams that you're going to be under the cosh a bit more, and then it becomes a 5, and then it becomes a negative. So that was my feeling, but the way we played it on Saturday was very positive and very good, so I really enjoyed playing in that style of a 3. So if we can continue to play like that, which is going to be a little bit tougher against Tottenham, then obviously I'd be happy to continue in the 3, but obviously I'm happy to continue anyway in whatever shape as long as I'm in the team.
Okay, I just want to do one incident on Saturday, which obviously was Robert's penalty, and he apologised on social media straight afterwards. He got some stick for it. What was your view on him making that apology?
Honesty, that's what it's like. I think in this group we've got a lot of players that are honest, and I think that's the biggest thing you can be, because when you're in this sort of time when you're going through a few bad results, you need everyone to stand up and be accounted for and be honest with each other, because that's the only way we move forward. If you've got people pointing the fingers and having to dig people out for their mistakes, that's when you start to worry. Whereas when people come in and hold their hands up and say, listen, I made a mistake, I gave away this penalty, I gave away that free kick, I made the mistake for this goal, it allows you to address it and then move on. And that's not to say it's okay to make a mistake and just go in hands up and be like, oh, sorry lads, me again. But it does help you move forward without any friction between the lads.
How much finger pointing does go on, perhaps not on the pitch, but when you're back here at the training ground?
There's never finger pointing. It's always, like I say, because we have got an honest group here, lads will come in here and watch a video on the screens, and lads will know when they've done something wrong, and they'll speak openly with, be it the manager or with Maka or with each other, just saying what they think they should have done better, or if they think they didn't do too bad, they'll analyse it with another player, with another coach, and see what their differences were, basically. But there's never really finger pointing, because, like I say, that's when it becomes hostile, and we don't need that sort of atmosphere at this moment.
More analytical approach then, perhaps, from when you first started out in the game?
Yeah, definitely, because, from when I first started, I'm quite old now, so there wasn't as much of the video technology. Yeah, and especially playing in League One, you didn't have as many of the videos to watch, you didn't have videos of every team every week. So obviously now to be in the Premier League is a dream, because obviously you can get 90 minutes of every game, and then your analyst can then put together a nice video for you.
Indeed, we can see some of those videos here in the room. How much will that help you against Tottenham?
You can watch as many videos as you want. When they're played in real life, it's a bit different to watching them on the screen. So don't get me wrong, obviously you can watch and analyse what they've been doing in the last few games, if they've done anything different, if a certain player has come into good form and what he's doing. You can do that sort of stuff, but on the day you have to just stand up and be counted, because Tottenham are a very good football team. Lots of experience in their team, lots of quality, lots of internationals, and they'll be looking to bounce back from a defeat against the Man United side that they dominated possession-wise.
Indeed, and you may be detailed to look after Harry Kane. How good a footballer is he?
He's very good. He's a player that, speaking to all the Spurs lads that have come here, they said that years ago he was a good player, natural finisher, but they're just amazed at how far he's gone. Because obviously he had a couple of loan spells out when he was younger, never really got going on his loan spells. I think he got injured on a couple and never really scored the goals. And then when Tim Sherwood come in and gave him the chance, he never looked back. So fair play to him, he's done very, very well. And like I say, he is definitely a big threat in English football and I believe in European football.
Thank you, Curtis.
Anyone else for the live section?
Curtis, can I just ask, is it advantageous having the 4 players, ex-Tottenham players, in the squad for this weekend?
I would have said Mason, in the case of Mason, yes, because he's the most recent to come. So he'll know more about the team and the way they set up and the way Pochettino does things. But the other 3, obviously Jake and Tom have been here for 3 years. This is their 4th season. And Michael's been here for 2 years. This is his 3rd season, so he won't know so much about the regime. Obviously, they can speak to the Spurs lads, and there's still a few of the Spurs lads that were there in their time. But obviously, in terms of an inside knowledge into Pochettino, Mason's the one we have to rattle and get him telling us any information.
How good do you think Tottenham are? Do you think they're definite top 4 candidates?
I think so, yeah. I think that they were, I say unlucky last year. I think they'll be kicking themselves because it was a really missed opportunity. They done so well all season and let themselves down over the last couple of months, and they'll see it as a chance missed because what I said last year is Chelsea won't be that bad again, Liverpool won't be that bad again, Man United won't be that bad again, and obviously they're all coming to good now, obviously with Chelsea going on a 9-game unbeaten run. So I'm sure Tottenham will still be up there, but I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult for them to push for that top spot than it was last year.
And the last one from me, the Palace performance was obviously much improved. How much does that give you going into these next 2 fixtures?
It's positive to know that we can score 3 goals. It's good to see that we can score goals from open play also, which was a big thing because even when we were scoring goals, they were usually coming from set pieces or from the spot, like obviously the first goal. But at the same time, we need to shut up shop and make sure we don't concede goals like we did in that last minute, because to get yourself ahead and then behind and then come back to be ahead again and to let it slide isn't good enough. And it's an extra 2 points that could have seen us level with Crystal Palace and out the relegation zone. So we take positives from the performance. Like I say, we're confident with the way we played and we're happy with the way we played. But we know, obviously, like I say, Tottenham away on a Wednesday night's a different animal, and obviously West Ham's not going to be any easier, nor is Man City, nor is Everton. So we'll just have to make sure that we can keep up our performance level, and hopefully we'll get good things from it.
Okay. Curtis, what sort of game are you expecting tomorrow night?
I think from our side it'll be quite cagey. I think we'll obviously try to nullify Tottenham as much as possible, because ultimately you're going to Tottenham, you know how good the team they are. Only a couple of weeks ago they hit 5 in a home game, so we need to make sure we're on it, because obviously we've had a couple of batterings away from home, if I'm being honest, and we need to make sure that we're a solid entity, and then hopefully from that solid base we can work the football that we worked from Saturday and hopefully create a few chances.
You mentioned West Ham, City, Everton. It's a tough Christmas run.
It is very tough. Obviously West Ham haven't had a good time this season so far yet, but obviously they've just come off the back of a very good draw at Liverpool, and they'll be looking to bounce back, especially in their home games against a side that are going to in and around them. It's a big chance for them to jump 3 points ahead of us, but obviously we see it that if we can get a win against them, then we can put a bit of distance between us. So it's going to be tough, but you can only play the teams that are in front of you, and you have to do your best. And you never know, it could be the games that you're not expected to get anything, you could maybe nick something, and it could be very important coming in the season.